Hello everyone. I've discovered if I get myself in precisely the right position, then the beam in the ceiling behind me looks as if it's going in one of my ears and out the other. And I thought, well, what would it be like if that were actually the case, that I had a beam through my head? Would it look cool? Would people be impressed? Because there isn't anybody else around that I know that has a beam through their head. Of course, it would be inconvenient, wouldn't it? Because to drive the car, I'd really have to have both the side windows open, and I'd have to take great care when overtaking cyclists. And I said to Thwaite, if I did that, do you think I'd look good? And Thwaite said, no. And I said, well, people who want to be impressive very often have things on their heads, don't they? Say, military people have all sorts of hats. I've got one here. This is what I used to wear when I was in the cadets at school. And I said to Thwaite, do you like the look of me like this? And Thwaite said, no, not really. He said, if you want to get people's attention, why don't you just bark? Well, that got his attention, didn't it, mister? So I thought, well, I could bark, or I could make a bit of music. Here's a mouth organ. And then we can do it together. Now, if you think about God, we don't know what God looks like because God hasn't got a body and nobody's ever seen him apart from Moses. So there's no question of God impressing us by wearing hats and stuff. But people do talk to God, and people are often very impressed by loud thunder and lightning and things like that because they think God might be there in the storm. But do you remember in the Bible, I think it's in Isaiah says, I look for God in the storm, but I found him in a still small voice. Oh, and King David, when he wanted to talk to God, he sang. Now, I know it's a very difficult time for us at the minute because we're not allowed to sing in church, but we can sing at home, can't we, Thwaite? We sing together. So we shouldn't get too obsessed with being impressive or imagine that God wants to be impressive to us, except in his own way. And his own way involves that still small voice, which we can only approximate to by being very gentle and maybe, Thwaite, by singing to each other.